Hi everyone, you reach Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me awesome. I'm here today with a video on Love and Marriage Huntsville, the last 2 episodes. I didn't get an opportunity last week to give you my thoughts on that particular episode, so I'm here today and I'm going to mesh the 2 together. So first I'd like to talk about Martel and Melanie. I will say this, Martel and Melanie are still fresh, like out of their divorce. And I did love those 2 together as a couple for different reasons, but I do understand why and how the divorce came about. The hard thing about divorces is when, especially for them, they was together for a long time and they have 4 beautiful children together. The situation is like when you're shared friends, amongst other things, when you're married, it's like, what do you do when you divorce? Where do the friends go? Do the friends go team Martel? Do the friends go team Melody? And when they throw events, your friends, who do they invite? Do they still invite the both of y'all? Or do they just roll the dice and say, okay, you know what, this event we invite the husband, this event we invite the ex-wife? I mean, what do you do? Or do you just go ahead and invite both of them because everybody should be mature adults? So right now, because this group of friends, they are all couples, and it's like, all right, what do you do? So Tisa and her husband, Marcel, are celebrating their 15-year anniversary, and they just decide, you know what, we'll invite Martel, we'll invite Melody. So Martel and Melody are in the midst of learning how to co-parent because they never had to do this before because they was married, so you lived in the same household. So they're learning how to co-parent. They're navigating that. But while they're navigating that, they are still navigating pain and hurt. Okay, so when you've been with someone so many years and then you divorce them, just because you divorce them and that paperwork goes through, that doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't take away the hurt. It doesn't take away the fact that we didn't have these discussions that we needed to have about this pain and this hurt. And I think that they still need to have these discussions about the pain and the hurt. And then they can, co-parent on a certain level, and then they can be friends on a certain level, so that when they're in the same rooms together, for whatever reasons, they'll be able to, just have civil conversations. So the episode before this particular week, Melody arrived in Vegas, and her and Martel just really got into it. They got into it about some different things, and I think what they got into it, the actual topic really doesn't matter. I think the reason why they got into it is because there's still love there, but there's pain and there's hurt. And until that is resolved, I think they're always going to have these different little spats when they see each other. So for them, I'm wishing them the best. I think it's still very fresh, and I understand, unfortunately, where these heated arguments are coming from. And Melody did hint that, Martel tried to come in her room at the late midnight hour, and he wasn't coming in to talk, and she knew what he was coming in for. But when I'm proud of her, she didn't give in, because it is easy to give in, because listen, that was her husband for over a decade. Okay, they have 4 children together, but I'm glad she didn't give in, because it would have just made things even more complicated and messier. So kudos to Melody for that. So that's Melody and Martel. Okay, so let's press the fast forward button and let's talk about Tiffany Whitlow and her husband Louis. I tried to give them an opportunity. I try to like them. I've been waiting for episode after episode for, her to do something to change my mind. But hasn't changed my mind, and I don't think she will, but I'm going to continue to watch and let's see. But I also hope that next season, I particularly don't want to see them come back. I hope they find another couple for me to like and fall in love with if they feel that another couple needs to be on the show. But right now, not feeling Tiffany and her husband Louis. So Tiffany out the door, she was messy and shady. And she's still, to this current day, in every episode, she's just being messy and shady. So she wanted to approach, Tisa. Now this is Tisa's event because her and Marcel are celebrating 15 years of marriage. She wants to approach Tisa and pretty much tell Tisa that, when the husbands were together, your husband pretty much said that, you have no confidence. You wanted to bring him to a surprise therapy session because you don't know how to communicate. And then she asks Tisa, are you staying in your marriage just for the kids? Girl. Then when Destiny tries to jump in and tell Tiffany, like, yo, you just straight messy. Now Tiffany wants to get into it with Destiny, and then she wants to pretend like, oh no, I'm just being authentic. I hope I could be authentic with adults. Girl, first of all, being authentic and shady is two different things. And you can be authentic and not messy. She's messy, she's shady, and she wants to say, oh, maybe just my timing is off. It's not just your timing, honey. It's the words that you use even when you speak. As a couple, as a married couple, and you're here to celebrate another couple's 15 years of marriage, why would you bring up something negative? If anything, you should have said to her after the conversation that you heard that your husband told you the guys had, you should have said to her, you know what, Tisa? The guys were talking. Your husband was shocked about the therapy. And maybe what you should do, as a wife is, just tell your husband what you want. Tell your husband that you want to go to therapy. Like, don't sneak it up on him. Talk to your husband and give her tips on how you talk to your husband. But don't bring it to her in a shady way like you did. You didn't mean well. And couples should give tips to other couples to help them stay together. You don't throw something at her to make her feel insecure, to make her feel like her husband was saying something negative about her. Tiffany, you're a whole hot mess, and I'm done with you. But delusional as she is, she talks to her husband later on, and the she is Tiffany, talks to her husband Louis. You think he would talk some common sense into her? Nah. She's talking to her husband Louis, and she's like, oh, me and Destiny got into it. I don't understand. She's just against me. I'm just authentic. And he's like, oh, I don't want you to change being authentic. You're so sweet. You're so kind. Your wife just had to have a sit down with Kimmy and Maurice and Kaiwa about her talking about a child, and she's so sweet, kind, and authentic, and you don't want her to change. You're delusional. She's delusional, and change needs to happen. She needs to know not only timing, but when and how to use her words. She doesn't. And she needs to know how to be a friend to other couples when you know what marriage is. This is her second marriage, and I'm not shading her. I'm okay with that. But of all people, what it takes to stay in a marriage and to make a marriage work. And you want to come to another wife and be messy and negative? Girl, bye. I'm done with her. That's those two, and I'm done with both of them. Now let's move on to Tisa and Marcel. I will say this. When Marcel speaks, even though I think he's messy, he does say some knowledgeable things. He drops some jewels, okay? So Tisa came to him and let him know that, Tiffany said XYZ. I think the valuable information that Marcel gave Tisa is like, listen, you live with me. You mean you breathe the same air. We eat the same food. Why are you letting someone else come and tell you that you should be insecure with our relationship? I will give that to him. I think that is very good advice. Okay. She continued to talk to him, and as part of this trip, she wanted them to renew their vows, okay? And she was going to surprise him with it. Now, the ladies did tell her, I don't know if you should be surprising him with that. So I'm glad she told him about it, because he was not in agreement with that at all. The thing I don't like about Marcel is that he didn't even want to tell, even though they went ahead and went to this whole chapel in Vegas, he wouldn't tell Tisa that he loved her. He wouldn't tell her that, we had a great 15 years together and I'm looking forward to 15 more. He is just, Marcel is just, he's stubborn. He's set in his ways. And I don't want to call it pressure, but you can't even convince him to do something that he has in his mind that he does not want to do. So he went to the chapel. He did not renew these vows. Tiffany and her husband did. But you already know, I'm not feeling them. So because I feel like every word that comes out their mouth, they want to act like, this second time around for them, they're doing everything picture perfect and they haven't even celebrated a 1 year anniversary yet. Y'all, give it time. Give it a minute. Y'all still in the honeymoon stage. And I would not want anything to happen with them in their marriage, but I'm just so sick of them acting like, they just got all the answers. But Marcel was dead wrong. He wouldn't even tell Tisa he loved her. Then when they had the dinner, they was at the dinner, this is their last night, and they're at this dinner and everybody's talking. The words that were coming out his mouth, pretty much he was saying that, he just doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem 100% happy in his marriage to Tisa. And watching it was hurtful watching it. I can only imagine how she felt, because I was feeling the pain for her. I don't know what Tisa is going to do with her marriage with Marcel. I do not want to see them break up. I think they got a lot of work to do, because as much as he wants to tell Tisa that she needs to communicate better, well, he needs to communicate better also. Because at that dinner, she was sitting there pretty much in shock, my opinion, about the words that were coming out his mouth. He said happiness comes second. So in other words, every word that almost comes out Marcel's mouth is that, you stay in a marriage by any means necessary. If you're not happy, you stay. You're not always going to be happy. Now, that's the part he's probably right with. Like, relationships is a roller coaster ride, and you gotta just, you hanging there with the waves. But I don't think that if, 90% of the time you're not happy, that you should stay. He doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem to express his love in words the way that his wife needs it. So everybody's relationship is different and people feel love differently, but it seems like Tisa needs these expressions, she needs the words, and he's not giving it to her. So I'm looking forward to the next episode to see how this dinner finishes out. But right now the conversation, it was so heavy and it was so telling. And to me, what it told was that Tisa and Marcel, they got a lot of work to do on this marriage for it to thrive. It's surviving, but it's surviving because Marcel has this theory that, you know what, you stay together no matter what. But who wants to be in a relationship with their mate and the mate is just staying there, not really because they're in love with you, not because they're happy, just because they're going to stay no matter what? Guys, let me know your thoughts if you saw this latest episode. Chat with me in the comments. How are you feeling about Tisa and Marcel's marriage? I'm concerned. How do you feel about Tiffany and Louis? I'm done. What do you think about the Melanie and Martel situation? I'm praying for them. And they have 4 beautiful children together. And I want the co-parenting to work. I want them to resolve this pain and the hurt. And as far as Maurice and Kimmy are concerned, right now, in terms of a solid relationship out of this group, I think they're at the top. So guys, and I mean, I'm not really putting Tiffany and Louis in that mix because, you know, they're still fresh. You know, they're still new. But anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.